Speaking of Tomb Raider, I think that's a great way to segue into our final news segment here before we get into our main topic. And that was a bit of a recap of the Game Awards from this past week. As I said, 2 Tomb Raider games were actually shown off at the Game Awards, which was pretty exciting. I would have loved it if Jeff had given Tomb Raider Season 2 a shout out, as it did drop the same day of the Game Awards. It was like a 1, 2, 3 punch of Tomb Raider news. But no, we did not get a shout out there. And also we were snubbed for best adaptation, which is sad to see, along with Castlevania Season 2. That was a little frustrating. I think Nocturne Season 2 was pretty incredible. But anyway, that's beside the point. Jeff, we still want you on the show. There's a lot to talk about here. I think kind of the main thing for Nintendo fans was that there were 2 awards won by Nintendo games. One was Best Family Game, going to Donkey Kong Bonanza, and the other one was Best Sports or Racing Game, going to Mario Kart World. It's interesting. I mean, the Best Family Game kind of just felt like a giveaway, because I don't really know that I would consider Donkey Kong Bonanza a family game necessarily. I mean, I guess kids can play it. I don't know what you thought about that.
There is a 2-player mode that you can play with your child.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like saying Super Mario Odyssey is like a kid's game. It's like, or a family game, but I mean, like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It's bright and shiny.
Yeah.
It's got TikTok brain. Not as much as Kirby Air Riders, but it's got a little bit of its own.
It's like a fidget spinner of a game.
Yeah, it's a fidget spinner of a game. Yeah, sports and racing game going to Mario Kart World is just like hilarious to me every single time, because it's just like, this is a racing game, yes, but when it's going against like more realistic racing sims, it's just so funny. They're like, no, we don't want to be realistic in our racing game. We want to throw shells at people that spit out coins and steal things.
Oh, that's the sports. That's the sports part.
It's the sports part. It's just like, okay, what's the most unique sports game that came out this year? And that's kind of what it usually gets in.
Right.
It's kind of funny. Yeah.
I think it was kind of just like, we just have to give Nintendo these awards almost. It's kind of felt that way.
They're like, they don't advertise with us, but we got to give them something.
Right. I mean, obviously, as far as the awards were concerned, surprising absolutely no one. It was a Clair Obscur Expedition 33 sweep. Not entirely a sweep. I think there was one game that one award that they lost to another game, but all the rest of them they went home with. That's great. I mean, I think it was a wonderful game, and I think that's totally deserved. That wouldn't have been my pick, but I also didn't beat the game, so maybe if I had, my opinion would be different here. But very happy for small teams like that, for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I know that got a big update as well the same day of the Game Awards. But there were some Switch announcements that I think are worth talking about. One game that I thought looked fabulous was Orbitals. Did you see the trailer for this, Jordan?
Yeah, I did watch. It looks pretty sick.
Yeah, it's like, it's a 3D game. It's very much a sort of, co-op. What's the game? The way out, or
Split Fiction, It Takes Two.
Right, exactly. It's one of those styles of games, but it's all got this incredible aesthetic to look like an 80s anime. I'm definitely going to be playing this one when it comes out. And it looks like it's a Switch 2 exclusive.
Yeah.
Are you excited for this one?
Yeah, I'll probably end up picking this up just for the aesthetic alone. It's cool to see, like, for a long time we were always, what's the most realistic looking graphics? And now we're finally getting to a point where it's like, no, it's the best art style we can pull off of the technology we have.
Yeah.
And it's like, you see that those are the games that hold up over time. Like, people have really warmed to Wind Waker's style, even though they hated it when it came out. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's just kind of cool to see like art style come back in a big way in video games. That's not just the most realistic thing you've ever seen.
Totally. Yeah. That was really, really, really nice. And it's just like, I see artists a lot now online using Blender to do kind of like Miyazaki or like, 80s, 90s, early 2000s anime style. And those shaders have just gotten incredible. So it's
Yeah.
like, I'm glad to see it finally making its way to a game. A couple other Switch announcements here. There was a teaser trailer for Super Mario Galaxy. It was very, very short, not really worth watching, I think, but that did happen. There is also news that finally South of Midnight was announced as coming to the Switch 2. That's great. I was really hoping that we'd see more Xbox. Still think we need to see a lot more Microsoft and Xbox games coming to the Switch too. But then really we got a kind of deluge of Capcom games. It seems like every one of the first party Capcom games are coming, I think, day and date to Switch 2, which is really exciting to see. We had Mega Man Dual Override. There's a new Mega Man game that was announced. Also, we had another trailer for Resident Evil 9 that showcased Leon coming. That's going to be day and date released for the Switch 2. And then Pragmata, a game that we saw a really long time ago. It was announced that there's going to be a Switch 2 port of this game too, also coming out day and date, which this is a pretty next-gen game that has been in development for a really long time. It also has an exclusive amiibo coming too, which is kind of interesting. It's a little weird that you can get this little girl as an amiibo. That's maybe beside the point. But Jordan, what do you think about Capcom all in on Switch 2? Is this exciting?
Where are the Capcom games on the Nintendo Classic service? We were just talking about this third-party support. I don't think it'll ever happen. They keep doing all their collections.
No. They do too well on the eShop. Yeah.
No, they have all their collections, and then they release them and then mark them down for like 10% of the original cost. But anyway, it's pretty cool to see. I just like that there's more third-party support, and maybe we'll talk about that more in the main topic of what we'd like to see or where we are at progress-wise. But that's nice to see that they're kind of going all in. The amiibo is the thing that's really surprising, because I really did not think amiibos were going to continue on very much into the Switch 2 life cycle, but to be getting a exclusive amiibo for like a brand new IP from Capcom is like fascinating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got the Street Fighter 6 amiibos. We got the Monster Hunter amiibos. It's like they have been big supporters of that whole ecosystem.
Why?
I guess they're selling. Curious. Well, I say they're selling, but also like all those Street Fighter 6 amiibos are now massively discounted because they came out for $40 each. I wonder what this little girl amiibo is going to come out for. Really strange. I can't see anybody paying more than $20 for that thing.
It's going to be 30, but you're correct. And then about 6 months later, it'll be $8.99.
Yeah, that's true. It is kind of heartening to see those deep discounts. Hopefully they're getting the message that nobody's going to buy these things at that price. Maybe that just means the death of amiibo is finally happening, even though we talked about that years ago at this juncture. There's some other things to talk about, I guess, with the show. A couple of things that I think are worth mentioning is that Half-Life 3 was a no-show. I know Jeremy, who I went over to his house and watched this whole show with, was very disappointed. And I was like, bro, you can't get your expectations up for stuff like that. Did you think there was any chance we'd see Half-Life 3 here?
Absolutely not. I very loosely looked at all the speculation about Half-Life 3, and I feel like there is a Half-Life something happening. I'm not convinced it's 3, even though everyone on the internet, and there's this insane like Charlie from It's Always Sunny style web internet page going around that just has all these links and all these screenshots of like data mines and different posts and how it's all related to a Half-Life 3 imminent. I'm just like, dude, at this point, I don't think Valve would announce it at something like the Game Awards. I think they'd want to do it on their own thing.
Yeah.
And I think they want to do it to promote their new hardware they just announced. So like, unless they can get a hardware mention deal with Jeff Keighley, which I don't think he really would do, to be honest. I just don't see them doing it. Or they don't want to pay for the ad revenue or ad space on Game Awards when they could just have just as many views going on the internet. So yeah, I thought it was like no shot. Do I think the game exists? Maybe. I'm not 100% convinced. I will never get my hope up for anything Valve video game related ever again. They still have not put out Half-Life 2 Episode 3. I will never forget.
That will never happen. Also,
It will never happen.
That has
and I will
turned
never
into
forget.
Half-Life 3. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, I also do think that we will be seeing Half-Life 3 with the launch of the Steam machine. You know, hopefully, god damn it, I really hope that happens. But yeah, I'm not super surprised. It's like the same thing with Nintendo. Like, they don't need to spend the $1 million on an ad on the Game Awards when they get 25 million views on all of their directs, right? Like, just on their own for free, you know. So it's just, you're never gonna see any more Nintendo announcements on this thing, I think, unless Jeff Keighley is the one going to them being like, please, we'll let you do it for free, just do something on our show, right? But why would you do that if everybody's willing to pay you millions of dollars? A couple other things that I thought were interesting, a couple games. Control Resonant was revealed. This is the next Control game. Looks kind of interesting. Seems like you're out of the building in this one, and that you are on the streets of New York, and it's a different protagonist in this game, but it looks like it has similar mind-bending action gameplay. There were some really interesting visuals here, kind of evocative of Doctor Strange and whatnot. So I was really excited to see that. I hope that game is fun. I really enjoyed Control. Another one based on a series that we had an episode on a couple weeks ago now, Star Wars Galactic Racer was revealed. This is a new speeder racer game. So it's not just pods. There was like a little hint of Sebulba at the end here. So I'm sure we will see pods in this game, but it looks like you've got speeders, swoop bikes, all these different kinds of Star Wars vehicles that have not really had their own racing games so far. So I'm really pumped about this. I don't know if you're a Star Wars Episode 1 racer fan, Jordan.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, it was a part of my childhood, not as much as, you know, like Mario Kart, but it
Right.
was. We
Yeah.
did play. It's cool to see them kind of continue,
Right.
though. I feel like the Star Wars games we've been getting have gotten slightly more interesting the past few years, especially with, you know, Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor, and then now this, and then also Star Wars Outlaws. It just seems like we're getting different types of games again, finally. So here's hoping for Rogue Squadron 4.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see. This one is coming out 2026. So that one's at least been in the works for a little bit. They did also announce a new Knights of the Old Republic style action RPG made by the guy who made the game originally and did the Mass Effect games as well. So that one did not have a release date. I imagine that is at least 2028. I can't see that one coming anytime soon. But I'm happy for those fans.
What's happening with the Knights of the Old Republic remake?
I don't know that. I think that got canceled, actually. That was Aspire, right?
I don't know if it got all the way canceled. I think it was like soft. Anyway, whatever. Maybe it did get full canceled.
I
don't
think it's
think
soft
it's going to come.
Yeah, I can't imagine it. There was a game from the Audio Surf creators that was shown off, which I was not expecting to see in the year 2025, but that is called Audio Mech. And this is a game that also uses, it's like a shooter that uses your music, just like Audio Surf did. And this one said that it is compatible with all streaming. So that's pretty cool. I'm really excited to play this game. I was a huge Audio Surf fan back in the day.
Me too, man. That was a really fun game to just kind of like veg out and, you know, because I was really into Guitar Hero and Rock Band. And then this was kind of like, oh, hey, you want to do something similar, but like with all your own music. So I did not hear about this. So I will be looking this up.
Yeah, this was in the pre-show. This was like almost like one of the very first things that they showed off. I was flabbergasted, if I'm honest. I was not expecting it. And then the last thing I'll bring up as far as the games are concerned was we finally got the reveal of Davide Soliani's new game. If you'll remember, the creator of Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle and all those Mario and Rabbids games, left Ubisoft to create his own studio. And it looks like his first game is a mascot 3D platformer called Bradley the Badger. It was kind of a pretty funny trailer. There was a lot of jumping between different spoofs of other games as he was going between game to game. There's, a Bloodborne esque, spoof. There were all these other sorts of games that he was in the worlds of. So for me, it kind of gave a lot of like Conker's Bad Fur Day vibes, and these kind of going between all the different movie genres and whatnot. But pretty cool to finally see what Davide Soliani's new studio is up to. He's got a great pedigree, and a lot of other really interesting developers are a part of that as well. Other than that, just a few notes here that I wrote down. Girls Make Games were the impact winners. They always do like once a year. It's like people that are affecting the industry. So that was really, really nice to see them get their flowers there, because they're a really wonderful organization. They had a few girls that developed some games under their tutelage out on the stage, so it was really nice for young people to see that. There's a lot of star fucking this year. I think maybe more than ever. We saw so many celebrities presenting awards, being featured in games, whatnot. Lenny Kravitz is the bad guy in the new 007 game, so did not have that on my bingo card. Also, Werner Herzog did a Warframe commercial. So seeing Werner Herzog at the Game Awards was also not something I was expecting. That was really crazy. But I think overall, I think most people were able to actually give their speeches, and at least the people that were allowed to give speeches weren't cut off, which was nice to see. However, there were 3 different segments where they rattled through 4 awards in a row, then another one with 4 awards in a row, then another one with 5 awards in a row, where no one got to give speeches on those. So you hate to see that, but
well, if it's Clear Obscure 33, it's how many?
No, they got to give all
their
their speeches.
Yeah, right.
I think there was maybe one award they won that they did not give a speech for. So they definitely were the big winners for the night. But